Join me in this episode as we get to sit down with founder and creator of Inglewood Clothing Company, my man Steve Cotton. We get to sit down with him and understand the nitty-gritty and everything it took to start his business.
I went to Hampton University. I went to a historically black college. I studied business administration. I'm still in school right now, finishing up my PhD in business administration. And I never knew how I was going to transition back to California. I knew that I was going to finish up my degree in Virginia, but I didn't want to live in Virginia. I knew I had to get back home. So I moved back home. I finished my thesis out here in California. And I said, hey man, it's time for me to get back to my city. And this brand was something for me to get back to the city. People want to rep their city. Inglewood is the city of champions. We're real proud when we say that. Inglewood is the city of champions. So every time someone comes by and they wear some Inglewood gear, they're just real proud to throw on the city of champs. SoFi Stadium just opened up about 2 weeks ago. We got the Rams and the Chargers opening up the new stadium.
Chargers and the Rams, yep.
Chargers and the Rams.
I'm a Chargers man, my bad.
So we're getting a lot of people coming by to get souvenirs. We're not just a clothing brand. Clothing would limit us. We would just be limited to clothing. But we want to be a souvenir shop. We want people to come by and get coffee mugs, get shot glasses, get magnets. We want people to say, hey, we went and visited Inglewood.
Yeah.
We went to Inglewood, California, and it was a beautiful city. The stadium is beautiful, the people out there are beautiful, and Inglewood is an awesome place to go visit.
Now we all know you have a great idea, you put it with a logo, and you start shooting it out there. That's great. The thing that a lot of people always forget is the hard work, sacrifice, and willingness it takes to put yourself out there for people to see it in the beginning. Here's how Steve hit the ground running early on in the Inglewood Clothing Company.
So it started out as I was at home. I was depressed. I got into a car accident and I had to figure out what I was going to do in my life. I couldn't work at the time. So I decided to come up with a clothing brand, and we saw what Nipsey was doing with the Crenshaw brand. We printed it up. And we said, me and my next door neighbor, we said, hey man, we're gonna go hit Coachella. He said, you ever been to Coachella? I'd never been to Coachella.
I still haven't.
So we went to Coachella both weekends, and the shit was popping, man. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. We went out there both weekends, and we gave away nothing but free gear. Free gear for 2 weeks.
That's crazy. So coming from, not to cut you off, but coming from a business standpoint or marketing perspective, you know, just getting it out there. Like when you guys were like, we're gonna print it out and we're gonna give it for free. Was that like was that your idea? Was that a mutual idea? Or?
Yeah, that was my idea, man. I said, hey, man, we gotta get this brand out there. Let's go to Coachella. Let's go to Coachella and see how people feel with it. Let's get the feedback.
Yeah.
Let's see if they're rocking with this brand, or let's see if this waste of time.
Yeah.
We went out to Coachella. We had a few artists out there. We had a few artists that were on stage wearing our brand. We went out there, we went backstage, we started giving away free gear, and we had artists that were wearing our brand on stage. The people just loved it. The feedback was amazing. We went out there, we got that feedback, and it motivated us to keep going. We're like, hey man, we got a small business right here. We need to keep this going.
Yeah, absolutely. As Steve's been able to navigate himself through more than just clothing now, turning it into a complete and full souvenir shop. Shot glasses, coffee mugs, Monopoly boards, hoodies, backpacks, and anything else you can name, that's merchandising. And this is what he's been able to do with his brand as he continues to expand it through the city of Los Angeles. Outside of Monopoly, outside of the coffee mugs, you were talking about, you know, not just being a fashion brand, but, you know, a souvenir shop. So I see you got Lakers, you got the Clippers colors. You know, what about, you know, the colors, I guess? How do you figure out which one is coming next?
The color wave is amazing, man. So when we started, we had the base logo. This is our base logo, the red, black, and the white. Real simple base Inglewood logo. When we got into it, we needed to diversify our logo, so we said we're gonna do all the sports teams. People love sports. People love the Lakers. So if you look right here, the Lakers are in the championship this week. The Lakers are about to win the championship. We're 3 games away. And we got an Inglewood Lakers hat. So when people come to our storefront, They see the Inglewood Lakers hat and they can just gravitate to it. They feel like they're from the City of Champions. They're from Inglewood. It's purple and gold. It's got the Inglewood logo, and people are really proud to wear their city. I mean, proud. Another one of our best sellers is the Raiders hat. We did the silver and black Raiders hat.
Worst organization.
And I mean, I'm telling you, this is one of our best sellers because people really love the, they don't want the red in there. A lot of the parents don't want the red and the blue in there. So this is real neutral. This is a neutral color. It's silver and black. So this sells real well. Our Raiders gear sells like mad. We did the Inglewood logo and the Raiders gear, and it's been selling real well. We did the Clippers colors. We did the Rams colors. We did the Chargers colors. We
Finally got to it, but you don't see it. But I'm gonna get to him.
He's Rams and Chargers, man. This guy's SoFi Stadium, man. When you guys come to Inglewood, make sure you visit SoFi Stadium. It is a beautiful, state-of-the-art facility. There's no place like it in the world. They put about $5 billion into it. $5 billion into it. I've been there. I have not been inside. I went on a tour of the outside, but I can't wait to go to the facility, man. Yeah. I got to get me a box suite in there, and we got to have a party in there.
Now, Inglewood-opoly, I bought it as soon as this episode was over. I learned it. I've been the king of Monopoly. And if you want this work, I will bust that ass. You feel me? As we close out with Steve, he leaves us some great messages and great words about starting a business, never quitting, and always remembering it's about your passion, not about the money.
Personally, when I look into the camera, man, you just can't quit. Nipsey Hussle said it, you can't quit, and I listen to TD Jakes all the time. If you don't quit, you're gonna win. TD Jakes says it all the time. He's my mentor. I love Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle is LA. He's the city. Nipsey Hussle says it all the time. I just never quit. I went through every emotion and I just don't quit. So to all my entrepreneurs out there, I want you guys to print up your t-shirts, print up your brand, and I want you guys to wear it every single day. That's what it started with me, man. I just wore my clothes every day. I didn't care what people thought. I wear it every day. It's my uniform. So if you don't quit, it's gonna get popping. It's gonna get popping. You just stick with it, believe in the Lord, trust in your dreams. It's gonna happen, man. I believe in you.
Wrap up and finish. I want to pass along to a young man, my guy, another co-host, Ian Evans, as he gets to sit down with food catering and baking extraordinaire, Mr. Fred Stevens. Now, without further ado, my food is ready. Thanks, Fred.
Now we'll be talking to Freddie Bakes about his inspiration. His father was his inspiration, and we'll talk more about his culinary mission and his culinary goals. Being here with us, Fred.
Thank you for having me. It's been a very interesting time.
Very interesting time.
Yeah. Well, we're in a pandemic right now, so a lot of events and things where a lot of people that are in food, whether you're a caterer, whether you're a private chef, anything like that, a lot of gigs have been curtailed. I'll say that. So right now everybody's just either finding or has found their lane in this new time. And I think that for me, mine has been delivery and private events.
Okay, that's great. That's great. And where does your inspiration come from cooking?
Food is probably one of my pure loves. So I was introduced to stuff when I was younger. My parents are from the South. And I was born and raised in New Jersey, so melting pot of cultures there, plus the influences of everybody back in the South. And I just like exploring. You know, I'm one of those people that I'll go somewhere and I'll learn about the people and the culture of that area through the food. It's the way you'll meet a lot of people too. It's really hard to be upset when you're eating something that's good. It's really hard.
It definitely is very hard.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to your cooking, are you doing more private events, personal chef? What is the main thing that's keeping you going during the pandemic?
It's been a lot of mail order deliveries for the bakery side and then just small events for the cooking side. I've done catering for weddings. I've done catering for a couple of church events. I did a launch party for a buddy of mine who started a record label. So it's just kind of a little bit of everywhere, but the biggest thing is safety.
Okay.
So
Definitely.
So right now, all the events that I've been working, even if it's kind of violated things, I don't think it's been more than 20 people,
Okay, good.
25 people in the space. So I've been keeping safe, sanitizing, all of that. So we're here, we're making the best of it.
Freddie Bakes now talks to us about his specializations in the baking and culinary arts.
Originally just getting into baking, it was my father's pound cake. He made it for church events, he made it for funerals, he made it for birthday parties, everything. It was so good at the church that they would only cut maybe like a quarter of the cake and put that out for people, and then everybody else working in the kitchen would just like cut the cake up and take it home.
Okay.
So that was one of the things I wanted to get good at. But then I also wanted to have something of my own. So my signature item is a cookie called the Brown Sugar Buddy. And I describe it as a snickerdoodle that went on spring break.
Oh, wow.
So it's really rich, it's subtly sweet, little bit of salt. Like, it's a very complex flavor from something that's very unassuming.
Okay.
And so it's been my top seller. It's the thing that I'm known for, but I'm also, and I launched it actually a few months ago. It's just this monster cookie that I call the Big Chip Buddy. It's probably as big as the top bun of this thing. It's 6 ounces, chocolate chips, just a really good, chewy, crispy. It's the chocolate chip cookie that you always want, but know you can't have all the time. Yeah. See? Yeah.
I'm just thinking about it. You got me. Freddie Bakes talks to us about the hard work and dedication that it takes to be a baker. Starting your own business as a personal or a dedicated.
I think running a business is the most rewarding, like, mania-inducing thing that you can do, because you have to, one, you probably know that you're good enough to create something and then sell it, but then you have to continuously believe that, and we're all humans. So there's that constant struggle of, if you have downtime or if you're sometimes too busy, like, you know what, I want my mind back, I want my time back, I want all of this back, but you go back to the thing that makes you happy, and seeing somebody smile, having somebody come to me and say, oh my God, that was so good. Or I haven't tasted it, I haven't had anything like that. I don't normally eat this, but what you made, I'll only eat it when you're making it. And so that is not something I go for, but when I hear that, that's somebody, that's like the public kind of putting that, you know, tank back in the gas tank and just kind of filling me back up. It's owning and running a business, especially as a sole proprietor, it's nerve-wracking, but highly, highly rewarding.
So how long have you been doing it professionally now?
So I started the baking side of my business a little over 2 years ago. I think we're going to be going on 3 years in this coming spring. And caterpillar in molasses slow. And slowly but surely, getting things out, bringing things to friends' events. I even have a partnership with a young lady that does videos on YouTube. So she's a feeding channel for some of my stuff. So I've been trying to, you know, just build out that way. And
what we have here in front of us right now?
So one of my favorite vehicles for sandwiches is a croissant. Very buttery, very, you know, has a really good chew. When it's toasted, it's got a nice crunch on it. So that's my base for both of these. And then I have a buttermilk fried chicken sandwich with tossed with a guacamole salsa. And then I have a version of a brunch burger that I served a few weeks ago. Just a hand ground patty, very well seasoned, some American cheese, fried egg, and everything, you know, cooked to medium, you know.
Wow. And this is something that you developed yourself. Now, where's the croissant is just something buttery flavored? So this would be more of a brunch or a lunch?
So the chicken sandwich will probably be more of a lunch item, but if I'm doing some sort of breakfast sandwich or something like that, there'll probably be a brunch burger. Because as much as people don't think they like the messiness and kind of that experience always of having a burger, even people that like being cute and eating, love a messy burger. Like love a messy burger. So that's kind of the inspiration for this. Like, it's messy, but it's delicious even as you're licking your fingers.
Wonderful. Where are you based at now?
I'm based here in Los Angeles. That's where I started the business. I was out in North Carolina for a few months, and I was running the baking side of things out there. So it was fun to kind of be able to pick up and take things down there and cooking in a different actual physical environment. Because a lot of people don't know that cooking is affected by like your physical place. So
And that leads into the next question. In regards to all the places that you've traveled and all the places that you've been, where would you say is one of the best places from a culinary food point of view that you enjoy the most?
Honestly, right now, I think we're all lucky to live here in Los Angeles. I think maybe with the exception, I'm from New Jersey, so with the exception of maybe going to New York City, over here, you can taste the world over here. And probably over here better, especially in Los Angeles, because a lot of times we have fresher produce, we can get meat and everything fresher. So our flavors and things over here, depending on whatever culture you're from, can wind up actually tasting better than something that you may have authentically in another country. So I think here culinarily, and there's somebody new with a new concept or a new something. So there's always inspiration, new flavors, just a new experience. So LA is probably right now my favorite food city, but yeah.
Great time with Freddie Bakes, talking to him about his inspiration and motivation when it comes to catering and the culinary arts. You can check him out on Instagram at Freddie Bakes. Next week, we'll be at Simply Wholesome with Christina. So always come back and check us out on Blackout TV. Thank you. See you soon.